Neopets. I bet you guys thought that I forgot about you. Don't think that you are so lucky. So today I just want to talk a little bit about the Vandegyre, which is the newest Neopet to be released. And this is the first species of Neopet in 8 years to be released, because they released the Ensemal and wearables, and it became a lot more burdensome to release Neopets. So now we're at 54 Neopets, one for each letter of the alphabet. And so this is the Vandegyre. According to this, they've lived in the high mountains of Neopia since its earliest days. But one day they decided to join the other Neopets and get in on the fun. And from their description on the Pink Pet Neodex, they are well-mannered and quiet, enjoy tea parties and gardening, which is very sweet. They look a lot different from all of the other Neopets, is a criticism that I've heard pointed out. But you also have to keep in mind that Neopets is 15 years old, and that the style has changed as well as the community. For the record, I think the biggest problem here is that the original Neopets were slightly modeled off of the first-gen Pokemon in a drawing style type of way. It was like a bridge between Pokemon and the digital art of the time. And now this is more of a pet looking thing. This definitely reminds me of the Pet game that they had going on when they were owned by Viacom, that they're no longer a part of. So I'm just going to run through real quick and just do my dailies. I already did all my dailies. I did my, I've been trying to do advent calendar every day, but I think I already missed a day, so whoops. Last year I don't think I did advent calendar at all. My relationship with Neopets has been really off and on, and their new transition to a new owner has really made me a little uneasy and uncomfortable, especially as notable Neopet team members have stepped down. That entire thing makes me very uncomfortable and afraid, uneasy about the direction that Neopets is currently going. But as long as it's open, I will keep my account going. As long as there's a Neo Lodge to check my Neopets in, I will continue to check out Neopets once a month. So yeah, I don't think I actually want to go. Am I going to go fishing? I guess I'll go fishing. The one problem I have with Neopets is there are so many facets, right? There are so many cooldowns that you have to mind, like the 6-hour cooldown from fishing, and the way that you activate fishing is so archaic. I have to do it with every pet, and I have to go through a separate page to make that pet active, so that pet can go fishing once every 6 hours. It's nice that there are so many different facets that you can skill your Neopet up on, but at the same time, it's annoying that you have to go through and make each pet active in order to do it. And what I'm afraid of is, with things like the stock market, is that they'll never update it, because there's this fear that if they update it, that their long-term players will get upset and maybe leave. But really, the assets like the stock market or the plushie tycoon or food club, those are the ones that need the most overhaul and the most care dedicated to them, because long-term players like myself, that's sometimes our only interactions with the Neopet website, and if they gave that an overhaul that was strategic and clever, it could be a beacon to get us to try the rest of the website again, to give a second shot to this old expired version of a virtual pet site. So the closing of Habitarium was, very personally for me, it was a really dark moment, because this is kind of a selfish thing. My Habitarium videos pull in the most views out of all of my Neopets videos, and I understand why. Habitarium was just like a money generator. That's all it was a Neopoint generator. And it's interesting when I log in now and I look over in this Neo Friends corner, it used to be just full of people who were just explicitly milking the Habitarium generator. And now it's usually down to 1 or 2 people every time I log in. And I don't know if it's simply because Habitarium's gone, or if it's because Neopets is no longer owned by Viacom and is now a Jumpstart organization. I heard rumors of a Neopets app that might be coming out. I recently got an Android phone, so I would be very happy if that was a real thing. One of the problems I have with Neopets is like they do very rare overhauls in design. They did one overhaul and they got a knee-jerk reaction and they're like, okay, we're not going to do a layout redesign for a while. You can't do that when you're a major website. There's always going to be knee-jerk reaction by people who are afraid of change. And you have to push ahead and do risky things to optimize your layout and the interaction and the user interface. This user interface is so outdated. Like, a funny thing about Flight Rising, I'm going to pull up Flight Rising real quick, is look at this sidebar. It's straight up Neopets to 1999, you know? And I love it. It's wonderful. It's everything you need. But look at this. You got all these stupid tabs with a million things and you can't customize it. I mean, you could set up a different skin for it, but you can't customize it. And it's so 2001. You know, like, if you want me to be on your site, you gotta give me some kind of stake, like some kind of creative ability to interact with the site. If you are a Neopets user who's looking for like a good Neopets community, I highly recommend the Neotag Tumblr community. I still keep up with it. I don't contribute to it anymore right now. I'm more Flight Rising involved than I am Neopets involved, just because there's a more active, interesting community on Flight Rising that's developing, and I'm more intrigued by Flight Rising right now. But the Neotag community is incredible. It's very friendly, very sweet, full of lots of college-aged, high school-aged people. Ooh, thanks, Colton. And always really funny and on point, like the kind of humor that you want to hear about Neopets. And then I think I'll be done with dailies after I go to the Haunted Woods. Let me just... Before I go to the Haunted Woods, I always turn my sound off, because you know what's gonna happen when you go to the Haunted Woods. You're gonna go to test my strength, and it does that creaky mattress spring sound that like has haunted me since like 6th grade. Just like, why do they have that sound as default that you can't turn off? These tiny things can be fixed to make the game so much more exciting. Or not, not the worst. Oh, I hate the overhaul they did to this. But I have to deal with it. It doesn't matter if I like it or not. This is how it is. My biggest grievance is the fact that this cow's got hands instead of hoofs. That doesn't even make sense. That's not how anthropomorphism works. Well, I guess it is, if that's how they make it work that way. But, okay, let's do this. My favorite thing about the Neotag is that there's, like, always, like, someone will send out an alert when something in the stock market, like, really, is bull the word? Like, bear is one type of stock market, and bull is the opposite. And so, like, whenever a stock hits, like, 50 or something, somebody will make a post about it, and then I can go sell that stock. So let's do this. I'm just gonna buy my stock, and then I'm outie. First, let's see if there's anything like... Nope, there's nothing worth selling right now. I'm not gonna lie, this is how I've done stock purchasing for like the last 5 years. PDSS, loop, let's see if I own this. There's like a smarter way to do this that I don't follow. But like there are websites that tell you which stocks are really like bouncy and which ones don't move very often, but I hardly ever, I think it's like neodac.com, but I hardly ever follow that stuff. Alright, so that was me interacting with Neopets. It's probably the only time all month that I'll do my dailies. Just send me a message, reach out to me. I do check Neopets like once a week, so if you have any questions or comments, I should be able to get back to you. If you like these kinds of games, I recommend that you try Flight Rising. There's going to be a registration window on the 15th. It's not exactly like Neopets. I would say it's a different kind of game, but it's very similar in the aspect that it's browser-based, and that you have items that you can collect and that you have creatures that you feed. But the thing is, there's an animal husbandry aspect where you get to breed your creatures, and I feel like the art is a lot more modern than the art on Neopets. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel. I have other Neopets videos. I also have videos on Flight Rising and Leiden. Flight Rising will be having a registration window on the 15th. And go ahead and send me any messages. If you have any questions or comments on this video, you can leave them in the comments below, or you can send them directly to my Neopets account, which is Tearing. I hope to hear from you soon. Bye!